I'm not in the place where I'm like, oh, I'm just forgiving you guys, so it's all good now. I'm just not there yet.
Okay, Cody. Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 3, First Impression. All right. Aspen and Mitch's wedding, they reminisce about that. And before that, Cody's talking about how he's just not ready to forgive people, as if that ball is definitely in his court. Then they're reminiscing about how at that wedding, they were all still a family and everything was great. And then Cody had made this really horrible comment that is all I can think about that wedding.
Don't touch that sacred bed.
It's a bit of an odd comment to me.
It's odd to me too, Mitch. And if you didn't get sacred bed because that's where his daughter would later, because it was her wedding. And then we get to Logan's wedding, and McKelty actually couldn't go to the wedding, and people really wondered about this at the time because she was apparently on bed rest. Then, they said that the kids were there, and they did not allow cameras to be present. And you know what? I really, really am loving that energy.
It was a little bit bittersweet because we didn't really talk to each other. Cody, Robin, I nodded at Mary. Christine and I sat together with the kids. Cody and Robin sat elsewhere. I waved at Mary. We talked to Mary. We didn't really talk, but saw her. It's just so weird.
Then Cody starts talking about his deep wounds of betrayal again, and everyone kind of talks for 3 minutes about how awkward everything was. But then Cody says, I felt like they just put me in the corner. Listen.
Nobody puts baby in the corner.
But that would mean that you were baby and you're not. So he felt like he was put in the corner and he felt bad about that.
Yep, it was just in the back. And Robin's saying, this is just not right. That this family isn't together, that we're not one family.
For reference, this is where Cody sat. This is where everyone else sat. He went on to say that he felt like everyone at the wedding was pretending to have a good time just to upset him. Which is pretty par for the course. I do understand that. The wedding was just sad for him, even though, your oldest son was getting married to a woman that he'd been with for a long time, and they seemed pretty happy about that. But that's fine. Then we get into the real poop we've been wanting to hear for a long time. I mean, other than Cody taking a minute to say, I'd never date Mary again, and blah, blah, blah. Honestly, we've heard it. Good. Thank you. Continuing.
My children, were scolded if they would open up Robin's fridge.
Someone clocked this years ago, so there are totally receipts for everything, but they go into this whole thing about how they weren't accepted into the family and they don't understand why, but everyone kind of agrees that there was a lot of separation there, and that's probably why.
Mary across the board was very accepting of my kids and I, but the rest of the family really struggled to accept my kids and I. All we wanted to do was be a part of this family. My kids didn't like going over there because they saw that Robin and their dad were a couple, and he wasn't in our home. So they were frustrated at different things.
He goes on to say him and Christine were always romantic, even though, you guys have been filmed a lot. It's a thing. And then goes to blame the fact that he didn't want to leave on one of his youngest, I think actually his youngest child. But he didn't want her to behave like that.
I tried to correct it, but that same kind of loyalty is happening amongst others in the family. Ari's the youngest. Of course she should act like a child.
That was pretty gross. Yeah, I tried to correct it, but at least she's loyal. And you know what? This is happening in other parts of the family. But didn't Robin just say that you guys weren't involving the kids in this stuff, but then you did involve the kids in this stuff, but you didn't want? Okay.
What I'm thinking is, with time going on and just a phone call once in a while, that these relationships will come back, and then I'll be in full fellowship with my children again.
Honestly, this just kind of makes me appreciate my dad. I'd call him and tell him, but he's dead. So then we go into McKelty having the baby, and the funniest part of that whole thing, well, because she had to have a C-section, the babies were breached, that whole thing, but the doctor...
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yeah.
Is the same doctor that Cody was asking about Mary's fertility when Christine was having Truly, and also the doctor that was wondering where Cody was when Cody was gone kissing his girlfriend when Christine was about to have Truly. So then they go into a lot of stuff with the moms. They're going to go and hang out for the C-section. They put Tony in scrubs, and they thought that was funny. That was so honestly, it was a little slow. It was a little slow, guys. I ain't even gonna lie, it was a little slow. They also talk a lot about home births and how when Robin came into the family, her and McKelty spent a lot of time. What they also don't mention is the reason they spent a lot of time was because McKelty actually moved into Robin's house to watch Robin's kids for her. But, I digress. And for a little timestamp, those twins will be 2 years old come November 17th. And then, of course, never missing an opportunity to use his kids for nefarious things, he accused Christine of being jealous of Logan when he was a baby.
Logan was absolutely lovely. What I was going through was the first year of being in plural marriage. It was so hard.
Then they brought the twins home and made a big hubbub about Avalon, McKelty's oldest, not super jamming with the twins right away. Has anyone else ever seen a toddler around a baby? That's just kind of how it goes. Then we have a couple minutes of Robin and Christine talking about how awkward it is and how they both want to be there for the babies. And yeah. But that was a quick rundown, and getting through that entire episode in about 5 minutes, I saved you some time because there were some spots it was like walking through quicksand. I hope you guys have a good night, and there are clips that I want to go more in depth into this week. You know the drill, and I'll see you then. We are also about to start I'm in Love with a Mama's Boy, and I will never forgive y'all for suggesting I watch that show. Have a good night. You know what? Actually, if you suggested that, don't have a good night.